Yo,
Hey, what's going on? How you
not much,
doing?
man.
What's going
Been,
on?
been good, been good. Just working on stuff, creating stuff. You know the usual. What's good?
Yeah, nah, man. I just wanted to reach out to you because I've been watching your stuff, and it was like I enjoyed our talk the last time. And yeah,
Glad to be
let
back,
me
man. Glad to
introduce you. Let me introduce you to the viewers because we live. We ain't recorded like
got
before.
you, got you,
Yeah,
got.
yo, this is KLA Cloud Wanderer, and this is Black Spider Guy. He gives people advice, especially men of today, modern men. And yeah, I had him on before it was recorded, so I decided, hey, why don't we do a live? So if anybody would want to ask a question, feel free. And yeah, but I appreciate you, tagging on again, man. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, man. We had a good time last time. I always try to help out my people, especially people that have been helping me, been aligning with me, and working with me. So definitely was like, yeah, let me just try to come back.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, I have seen some of your lives, and it's been interesting. I see there was this young guy. He was married and stuff to this chick,
Hmm.
and he I just seen some of it. After a while, I just had to kind of like not watch because it was kind of sad because he was like falling for her through like attraction
Yeah.
and that and he
a lot
went
of
through
a
all
lot of
this.
a lot of my followers when it comes to their relationships, unfortunately, they're with these girls that they're physically drawn to, but they didn't vet them out properly, and unfortunately are now having to deal with the ramifications of that. I
Yeah,
always tell dudes, stop lusting, stop thirsting. I mean, obviously you want to be physically attracted to your partner, but if that's the only main thing that's keeping you there, then you're gonna fail, man. So, it's important to vet.
yeah. I mean, it was sad. I was watching some of it, but I was like, I'm gonna keep it real. I was looking at myself also because I kind of fall into that at
Hmm.
times, but I
Hmm.
try not to do it too much.
Hmm.
I listen to you and other people, and just even the stuff that I've dealt with people, and it wasn't so much of like a relationship thing. It was so much of just wanting to talk to them and stuff, and just kind of like hypnotized by their beauty, the
Yeah,
beauty
I mean,
type thing.
we as men are
You know,
drawn to the female body, but it's up to you as a man to be able to reason out that obvious control that comes from your instinctive impulse. It
yeah,
takes discipline.
yeah, yeah. Like since we last spoke, it was also like crazy stuff been happening, especially like in the internet. What's your thoughts on Shannon Sharp?
Shannon Sharp. That whole situation is interesting. I mean, men with lots of money and power are going to do what they're going to do. I think that the relationship he had with the girl, I think that was fine. The issue was is that he was doing it with an OF model.
Yeah,
And unfortunately, that was used against him. I don't know what it is with a lot of these rich men wanting to be with these adult stars, but they need to definitely stop. The same thing happens in football, basketball. A lot of these wealthy black guys who haven't had any real game kind of put into them, but lead with their money and lead with their wallet and lead with their status, they end up thinking, okay, well, I'm untouchable, when really, man, you're one lawsuit away. So I don't think there's anything wrong with an older guy dating a younger girl. I mean, that's been going on since the dawn of time. It's just that, when you have a lot of power and you have a lot of money, you have to watch yourself because things can be used against you.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's just something. It's a lot of crazy stuff happening, but
No, definitely, man.
yeah, yeah. I noticed. Like after we talk, I noticed that you also. I didn't really touch it, but you also like lift weights and stuff.
Yeah, I'm
You
in
know,
the
you
gym 4 times, 3 times a week. Yeah, man, nonstop, all the time. I be
yeah,
training.
yeah. Like, what do you like to train? Like majority of the times.
Majority of the time, I do full body workout for about 3 to 4 hours max. Shortest I'm in there is 3 hours. I start off with either full body with a focus on chest, full body with a focus on legs, but I'm always doing full body. You want to hit every muscle at least 3 times a week to maximize the amount of growth. And I try to make sure I focus on my macros, have enough calories within my system to repair.
Yeah.
It's a balancing act. It definitely is a balancing act, but it's all about consistency. I don't do, for example, oh, I'm going to do this set this many times. I go till failure. I really want to rip up the muscle, but I also make sure I rest a lot too. Resting is important just as much as it is to go to the gym. So
Yeah.
constantly just trying to train.
You ever thought about like competing as a bodybuilder, or that's not your thing?
No, I don't work out for anything other than trying to be fit and healthy. I think it's cool that people tell me that I could be something like that, but I just train for myself. I train so that way when I'm older one day, I'll be able to still have the strength necessary. Like my dad. My dad is 65, but he still does push-ups. He's still lean. He still has abs, and I'm just trying to maintain and be like that.
Yeah, I do meditation, so I did like used to do like calisthenics, but like I think the last time I tried to do like pull-ups was like a couple of weeks ago, and I did like three. I had to do it by sets. I had
Nah,
to do it by sets because I stopped, and
nah,
you
I got
start
you.
losing it.
So today I rack pulled about 415 pounds, and I did about what 150 pull-ups. So
150 pull-ups,
hmm
but you did it in sets.
no, I did well. So I definitely I did it in sets. I did 20, 20,
Oh,
20. Yeah, I did it like that.
okay. Yeah, that's damn 20. Like, wow, that's impressive. It's just
And I've always been athletic. I've been doing stuff since I was 10 years old. So for me, it's kind of just normal.
yeah, yeah. Well, I didn't get some of your clips. I would love to play it. Yeah.
No, you go ahead.
These niggas will lay inside and watch you take out the trash, watch you go take your car to the shop, watch you do this and watch you do that, but want you to be submissive.
Hey guys, If a man has to always be in his masculine in order for a woman to like him, then shouldn't that be the fucking same for a woman when it comes to submission? How is wanting a woman to be independent sassy? Why did y'all fight for independence in the fucking first place? Since when was doing basic adult chores sassy? Are you saying you're a child and you can't do anything without daddy's help?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite clips.
Yeah. I mean, like for me, I don't know how to look at these women. It's like you really can't say nothing. You just gotta let them be. Like a lot. I notice a lot of women. They want to emulate men, but they don't realize that they're emulating men. They just
Right.
look at it as I want to do what the man is doing, and then like they kind of do it. They want to combine it with the traditional woman or just being a woman, and
Yeah,
it's one or the other.
a lot of women want to be modern, and that is to say they want to be able to enjoy kind of sleeping around, doing whatever they want to do, but they also want to benefit from the female aspects of traditionalism, where they are treated like some kind of fragile thing. But I tell women all the time, how are you so strong that you're Wonder Woman, but so fragile you're a flower that needs a safe space? It doesn't make any sense, and it's very paradoxical. They don't like that, and they get mad. They'll call you a weak man or whatever, but that's just them trying to shame you back into your position. But I for one, don't give a shit about that. I think that it's important for a man to always vocalize his viewpoints despite the court of public opinion. A lot of guys will sway themselves because of all of the negative influence pressure they get from other people, specifically women telling them that they're wrong. But I tell them all the time, a leader listens to himself at the end of the day. He takes advice that works for him. And if the people that are benefiting from him are upset, I mean, so be it. That's fine. You help your children out. Your children resent you, but your children benefit from your teaching, correct? So I look at it like that. You don't understand what I'm doing right now. You're upset about it in the short term, but in the long term, you'll benefit from it. So.
Yeah. Like you like I've seen some lives that you kind of debate with, well, not kind of, but you debate with feminists, at
Yeah,
times.
I debate feminists every single day, men and women. There's a lot of men out there that also feel that living in a gynocentric society or an egalitarian society is like a good thing. Not realizing that, egalitarianism, which is this idea that everything is the same, is basically bullshit because you still need somebody to go and mow the lawn. You still need somebody to protect and serve. You still need somebody to enforce those laws. And that person that's doing that is unfortunately going to carry a great burden that is being the enforcement mechanism of society. You can't live in an equal society if one person is literally holding society together. And they don't want to understand that because, again, being a man is more than just putting on some makeup and getting some muscles and going to work. It's taking on the accountability and the responsibility that comes with those choices. So unfortunately, a lot of girls have never had to take on that. They've always had a man, their dad, their boyfriend, some nice guy down the street take on the accountability for them. So they've never had to bear that weight, but men have to every day. So.
Yeah, that's well said. Yeah. I was watching like this video, like this woman, she got attacked by I can't say attacked, but the guy was grabbing her up, and so she was making noise, and it was like in the subway, and everybody seen it, and so like all these guys started stepping up, and they like the guy he still was grabbing a woman, but nobody didn't really know why he was doing that. So all these guys, they just started jumping on him and started pounding him out and stuff like that. And so the chick, she ran away.
No, but see, that's the thing, though. Women can always, kind of give their fealties to, kind of approach a man or approach a force that is man to aid them, right? Women kind of have an expectation, almost an entitlement to male force being given when they ask for it. Whereas with a man, it's kind of like, well, it's all up to you, right? Who gives a fuck about a man's safety? So that in itself showcases that this form of equality is just, it can't happen. Just based off of the societal pressures both have, and also the expectations placed on both groups.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but when you really break it down to the nitty and gritty, it's basically black and white. But people don't like that, so they try to change things.
Yeah, I mean, like the other day, I kind of not kind of, but I seen like the news where like the women, like they have like the physical standard of the guy, like in the military. Right. So they have to meet that requirement. So I don't know, like
small variables of women that can match a man in that regard, but even then, our muscles and bone density is a lot higher than them on average anyway. So, I mean, yeah, there's always women that can, but the majority cannot, and that's just the reality we have to accept instead of constantly using variables as the majority when that's not the case.
Right. So do you have like people that debate you like to a point like other platforms where you constantly debating people?
Nah, I just debate on Instagram. I was debating a lot on TikTok, but TikTok just kind of it likes to kind of lower you down in the algorithm, so it's harder to grow and get people's attention. But I mainly debate on Threads, and I mainly debate on Instagram and on Facebook. Those are my main places where I'm always debating people.
Okay. All right. So I could showcase another one.
The more you know. Ladies say all the time that the patriarchal system needs to be eradicated. It needs to be completely destroyed. But then they do stuff like this. Ladies, you guys are drawn to power. You guys are drawn to men who have climbed to the top of the patriarchal system. To the point where you lose your mind and faint when you see one of them. It's wonderful. It's so interesting. Girls wonder, why do guys focus so much on business and money? Because you guys react like this to the ones that succeed.
I had to lower that other part because you know YouTube they got that copyright stuff. So
Yeah. It's all good, man. It's all good. But yeah, that was a great video too. Just hypocritical nonsense. Girls will say things like, "Oh, the patriarchal system needs to be eliminated. Men having power in society is bad, especially when it's localized." But when they see a man that's high status, when they see a man that has a lot of money, when they see a man that has climbed to the top of that patriarchal system, no matter what they say, they swoon, they lose their minds, they faint. Because biology doesn't really give a damn about social constructs like feminism, right? You can't beat biology, and that is women are always looking for a man that has more than the rest. That's just how it is.
yeah, uh, but I mean I don't really have anything to say about it. You know, I just you know but I do would say there was this feminist I interviewed before. She was an animator, and I was like really impressed with her work. And you know, she drew like this mermaid. She did this cartoon about this mermaid, and she was topless. And so I couldn't really show everything. I had to block it, you know,
Right.
on YouTube and stuff like that. So
Right.
she knew it. She knew that I did. And so I'm like, yeah. And so what she said, you know, it's like a double standard. Men could be topless, but women can't be topless. So I was saying like men and women can't be the same. You know, it's a double standard. And so
Well,
she kept.
the reason why women are censored in that sense is for their safety. In a sense that men are drawn to the female body, and in the past, men knew this, so they created laws that would protect women by, you know, protecting. Sorry, what's the word I'm looking for? Shoring up their defenses by making them wear clothing, making them hide certain features that men are drawn to. Men are drawn to the butt. Men are drawn to the breasts, right? Men are drawn to long hair and things like that. So there are laws around that. Why? Because men who see those things or are influenced by those things are extremely dangerous men. So it's more so for their safety. As time goes on and we're in the modern society, those censorship things still exist. Are they double standards? Sure, but they exist for a reason. They're there for a purpose, and that is men and women are different. Men are drawn to certain things. Certain things are going to be called R-rated as a result, and that's just how it's always been. But those things are there for a reason. Women wanting to be equal so bad actually makes them more unsafe. They don't understand that, but it's all right.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You know, I really don't have anything to say. I just, you know, you really can't say anything. So I mean, but you know, with her, you know, she was going on a long rant and stuff that women had a long way to go. And I was like, in what way they had a long way to go? I mean, they could do everything. Like there's stuff that
They all
that
say that. They all say that. I always ask them all the time, what else is there that you can't do? Literally, you got women. More women have degrees now than ever before. More women own houses than men than ever before. You know, I always say feminism is a movement that only exists because they constantly change the enemy. Right? Before it was we want to vote. Then it was we want to be able to sleep with whoever we want. Then it was we want to be able to work the same jobs. Then it was this, and then it was that. Now it's we're superior to a man. Then it's we don't need a man. Then it's we can become the man. So the goalpost constantly changes because feminism pretty much accomplished what it needed to accomplish. But now that it's accomplished everything, all it can do is evolve again into a hate movement because a lot of these women gain their power or sense of self from hating men. And when you eliminate this movement and you showcase that their views are kind of foolish, what you end up having is a woman that's basically following a movement just to have something to talk about or to be a part of something that's bigger than herself. A long
yeah.
time ago, that would have been her family.
Mm. How far have you like read about feminism?
Bro, I talk about feminism every single day. So I mean, just what are you asking exactly?
No, just no. I'm curiosity. Like, do you feel like it's like a branch of communism?
I think that feminism was introduced to women in the 20s as a means to showcase that there was something that they were missing. I don't look at it as a form of communism. Women are just inherently all about making things fair and equal, simply because they don't have the ability to leverage force. So they have to make things equal so that they can benefit and play the game. If not, they'll lose to a stronger force. So women manipulate to make things fair so that they can still play the game, so that they can survive. That's the female viewpoint. Whereas men, we're all about hierarchy. We compete with one another in order to see who's the strongest, who's the most intelligent. That's how men build hierarchies, and that's how society was created. Women benefited from that hierarchical system because the best men are put in the highest of places, and then women benefit from their protection and their creations or what have you. When you start changing that up, though, and you flip it on its head, in the short term, yeah, right, it gave a big boost to the United States economy because you've got more people working, you can tax more people, you had an abundance of money. All of a sudden, people are buying stuff at a higher rate, a higher rate of demand for certain things, but you also lowered the value of work. So now instead of one paycheck paying for a house, it takes two because there's a higher demand, which increases the price of stuff. So communism kind of can branch along with feminism. I don't really think they coincide. Some people say they do.
I say that because they're both like similar in ways that they want to overthrow the traditional stuff.
I mean, in that regard, well, actually, yes and no, because feminism and communism only work when men work. If men aren't working in both of those systems, it falls apart. What do I mean by that? Men are the enforcement mechanism of society. Men are the ones that enforce laws and rules. You're right. So my thing is communism and feminism only exist because men allow it. And for some reason, a lot of men don't understand this. They think that living in an egalitarian society is this magical place, but it's like it goes against biology. So it's like, why would you want to keep going along with something that would fuck you up that way? Plus, when it comes to communism, you give the state basically all the power to control your life. Food, land, everything is in control of the government, controlled by the government. So you're at the mercy of this big brother. So it's like, why would you as a man want to give up your ability to climb the hierarchy? So again, both of those systems try to achieve similar things in different ways, but are only held together by men. Both still use patriarchy to exist. That's why when feminism says things like, we don't need men, I laugh, because feminism can't exist without men enforcing it.
Yeah, I mean, I would kind of like look at it as the same, because there's certain things you really can't say, especially with these women and stuff. Feminism
wants to make everything equal in a sense that men are valued the same as women and women are valued the same as men. It's more so talking about the gender roles and the social paradigms we have between women and men, whereas communism is more about like the society, the money functioning aspects of the world, jobs and power and military, that kind of stuff.
Mm. Okay. I can't argue with you on that. So let's check this video out.
Black History Month or me?
Black History Month.
Why Black History Month?
Because I believe in my blackness. Everything now is superficial.
Okay. Yeah, me ate me up.
Yeah, he wasn't kind of phased with this chick, so like a lot of these chicks.
When you got internet constantly showing ass and titties every single day, men are extremely desensitized to the female body, right? There's nothing really special about it anymore. A long time ago, a woman wore a skirt and a dress all the time, left things to the imagination. Now you can go on TikTok, Facebook, whatever it may be, and there's nothing left to the imagination. Especially when you're in real life and a woman tries to do something like this, you as a man go, I'm good. I'm good. Most men have seen adult content. Most men know what's underneath that. Girls still try to utilize their physicality as some high value thing, but it really isn't that high value. Men just overvalue it. So it's interesting to watch them parade around and act as if what they have, a big butt or whatever is this magical thing that is greater than anything, but it really isn't. Especially when They give it out for free to certain people, and they show it to the world for a certain price. It really has devalued the body of a woman, unfortunately.
Yeah, after a while, you do get tired of seeing it a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah. I'm gonna keep it real with you. My channel, you know, I showcase women, female muscles and stuff, and I always had a thing with muscular women. But you know, and but like since like because it gave me like an opportunity to do something on social media, really.
Right.
Yeah, and so you know, after a while, you know, I started kind of seeing things for what it is. You know, a lot of dudes they really like these women. They worship these women,
Like their God.
the women don't, you know, give them. They're not really receptive of the guys like that. Not in that way. Like they're friendly with them, and a lot of them they be like, well, I'm friends with the women, like. I don't believe that, but if you say so, you know,
right.
So, but you know, I always conflict with that, man, because a lot of times, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I like this. The moments I do like it, you know, but there be moments it be just like, oh man, I don't want to see this no more. After a while, you get tired of it. That's where, you know.
No, yeah, man. A lot of men are burnt out, and you know, a woman doesn't respect a man that worships her physicality, right? Yeah. A woman is looking for a man that has more than her. That's why women go for men that don't like them, because they know that those men have more value, so much value that their physical can't keep up with that, which means they have something more than what they are. Women are always looking for a man that has more. Women, that's, you know, again, why women go to men that don't really want them as much as the men that do want them, because men that are desperate for their attention usually are men that have less. Yeah. Or they don't have a purpose, or they're focused on something else, or they're focused just on her and only her and are going to worship her. But women don't like that necessarily. Yeah.
There was one on your videos. I didn't like take it, but it was saying that like why men are lonely. Like, and it was this chick. She was being interviewed by this guy, and she was breaking down why men are lonely. Like what causes men to be lonely. I forgot. I probably should have got. I think I tried to get it, but I don't know. I was having a hard time of just uploading it. But yes, and I think you were saying that he should have asked her what was her situation. Why did she? I can't really like word everything you said.
Well, a lot of girls will say things about male loneliness, and I don't understand that because they're not men, right? If you're not a man, how are you going to understand male loneliness? Women are never actually alone, right? They always have an ability to either get attention or they've got attention that they haven't tapped into yet. Women are not alone like men are alone. If a woman needs attention, she can get it immediately. So when women say, oh, well, the reason why men are alone, well, you're not a man. You don't live as a man. How could a being that only ever gets attention speak on a person that has to fight for basic human interaction? That doesn't make any sense. And that's why when girls talk on that, I try to silence them, because it's like somebody having cancer and then somebody that doesn't have cancer is speaking for them. Well, this is what cancer feels like. You can talk about it, you can interpret it, you can read into it, but nobody will tell you what it feels like better than a person that has it. And that's kind of what girls do when it comes to male issues. And they feel for some reason that they're just like or can be just like men. But that's, again, the lie that's told in feminism.
Yeah. Like, I thought you was going to keep going. That's excuse me. Yeah. What was I was about to say? Yeah. A lot of there's people that do say it that, you know, women lack empathy. Mm-hmm. You know, when it comes to guys, what comes to understanding what guys like approach a woman, like the hardships that we got to deal with, like talking and stuff like that. Yeah,
but we did that though. You know, a lot of men just give freely, and don't make a woman have to fight for anything. So, you know, when you've got women who don't have to fight for anything, you know, coming along and then dealing with some shit, and then a man comes along and then fixes it, it's like, well, of course they're going to act that way. You know, of course they're going to be this way. It really is on us for making the environment as bad as it is now. You know, we give them all this money for just showing their ass. We give them all this attention for just showing ass. And then we get upset. You know, obviously women need to take accountability, but men need to also take accountability as well.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on the gender war, like the so-called gender war? Like,
I mean, men didn't start it. You know, I was here 8 years ago before Red Pill became a thing and before the manosphere was a thing. I was making content, but I wasn't doing it like I am today. You know, this war, it didn't start off this way. At first, it started off with men being on dating apps, not getting attention. And men were like, wait, what's going on? Because people don't understand, there was a time when there wasn't such a thing as dating apps, right? There was a time where it was just apps online, Snapchat. It wasn't really like OF, OkCupid, all this stuff. You know, it was just people on social media apps, just Facebook and MySpace, and that's about it. But then when you really got these dating apps, all of a sudden people started finding people on the internet instead of in real life. And right now, I think it's more than 70% of people find their relationships online now. So it's quite unfortunate. I lost my train of thought. My bad. But it's all quite unfortunate that now we're in a time period where basically all human interaction is done through the internet, and it's kind of put everybody into these small microcosms. And people are living in these small microcosms, and it's creating their world in their mind, and it's making them feel like this is real. And unfortunately, this causes effect in real life too, because what they do on the internet is what they then choose to do and believe in the real world. You know, some people will tell me that the internet isn't real, but the internet is infused into reality. So it is very, very real.
Yeah, I mean, a lot. There's people that do say that, you know, like especially when you go out and like some guys, they try to talk to women. A lot of them, I'm gonna keep it real. There's times I fell back. A lot of times, there's times I do talk, but there's times a majority of the time I'm not consistent. And you know, and I think the reason why I wasn't consistent, you know, is because of just how I see a lot of women, like they don't really like look at you a lot of times, and that's okay. You know, I probably still could talk to them, but a lot of them, even when you do say hi, you know, they don't respond, and not all of them, but a good
majority of men are ignored in society because thanks to dating apps, women can actually swipe left and swipe right and water it down to just the top 20%.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm 49 and I'm before like the internet was emerging, you know, like when I was like maybe like in my teenage years. You know, they didn't have the apps and all that type of stuff. You had to go up to a girl and ask for a number, and I would say it was like competition and stuff like that. So I mean, now
women had better values or views of men back when they couldn't use the internet as a way to siphon rich men. Women had to deal with the men in their area, and as a result, they were a lot more humble. But when you've got women that are being flown out to different places with rich men banging them out, well, their value systems are going to be completely different. And so the men that they would normally get with that are at their level, they don't get with them because they get banged out by a rich man, or they see their girlfriend selling pictures on OnlyFans. So they think that they can do better than what they're actually worth. So that's the world we're in right now, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was always tough. It wasn't always easy. But, you know, just now it's kind of like, I don't know what to call it. You know, I mean, it's like if you don't say nothing, you kind of miss out. If you do say something, you know, it's not enough. It depends. Like you gotta, you know, I listened to this guy. He says that you have to talk to, I think I discussed that with you before, that you gotta talk to like 25 women a day. And the reason why is so you can be more comfortable with women. Right. You know, and sometimes I'm like, damn, I don't, you know, there'd be times I don't even be want to say nothing to nobody at times.
Right. A lot of men are burnt out. You know, a lot of men are burnt out because what's happening, again, like I said, with women only going after a certain amount of men, the rest of the men have to shoot their shot at least 1,000 times a day just to get one message in return. But who really got time for that, right? So a lot of men are just saying, you know what? I don't care anymore. And that's where you have this fallback of men in society where they go, you know what? All of this stuff really isn't amounting to anything. I'm not really benefiting from this. Why do it? And so now you've got people, men, average guys going, I'm not even going to entertain. The reason why the girls are upset is because they were siphoning energy and money and resources from the men that they didn't want to be with while entertaining the men that they actually like. So what's happening is the men are pulling back their resources, and now the women that would normally drain their resources and then kind of flaunt in front of the rich men no longer have their money, no longer have their free apartment, no longer have assistance with groceries. Now they have to actually fight for themselves.
Yeah, for you, like, what do you have a solution? Like, what's the solution? Like, if you tell somebody,
the solution would be, number one, women are going to have to relearn what a woman is, right? Women are going to have to relearn pretty much everything and unlearn all this feminist garbage, because feminism is saying that they can be a man, they're just as fast, as strong as a man, do all these things like a man, but then they're expecting a man to still be the provider despite. So what would have to happen is, again, is a huge unlearning of all of this feminist garbage. And then the second thing would be is reworking the workforce, getting women into a place where they're not working all of these jobs or what have you that men are, putting them back into the role that they were doing before, and then getting men back on track with working again. And then keeping that you do your thing, I do my thing in society kind of thing going. And that's what fed into that whole 1950s man's working, woman's at home, picket fence ideology, right? When you give women their role in nature back and you give men their role in nature back, things will go back to the way they were beforehand. But because you're trying to, you have two beings here that are fighting to be men. Men have to compete with women for wages. Men have to compete with women for businesses. And then what's funny is that these women get these businesses and then they quit when they hit 35 because women don't really give a shit about climbing hierarchies because they don't have to, because they can just make money from being with a man. So, you know, again, women are fighting to become men and then later on regretting it. So we need to fix these things despite how we may feel about it in the short term, but that won't happen. So.
Yeah, but what about the men? Because like you said before, we allowed these things to happen.
I think that men just need to let women kind of do what they want to do, and we kind of pull back and let them burn it down. Society doesn't seem to learn until everything burns or crumbles, right? And that's why I tell men to stop helping women, stop giving women money, stop giving women attention, stop doing this. Give attention to only the women that you're interested in and leave the rest of them alone. Let them work on their own, let them struggle on their own, because this is what they fought for. And when the system burns down and it doesn't work anymore, they're going to have to appeal to men. And then men are going to then be able to set the tone, set the rules, set the standards again. But unfortunately, we've domesticated everything, made everything easy, given them the keys to the car, and they're fucking it up. So I just say, let them fuck it up some more. Let them drive it off a cliff. And then when that happens, we as men, because we'll survive, we'll wait for them to appeal to our stronger force and then reset the tone again. It happens every couple of centuries.
Yeah. Well, I could play this video.
Watching these podcasts, and you know, it's usually the same shit where these guys are like, oh, these women always pick the ass. And you know, there's these good guys out there and they're never picking the good guys, and that's why they got 2 or 3 baby daddies and blah 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 blah, yada 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 yada, all this other stupid shit, right? And what you have to understand is that you being a good guy, whatever that means, because a lot of guys think you're a good guy because you got your bachelor's degree and you go to church on Sundays and all that stupid, you pay your taxes. That has nothing to do with being attractive to a woman sexually. That's why the women Pookie and Ray Ray. That's why the woman doesn't want your good guy, because you're not sexy. It's really that simple. You're not sexy. And when I say that you're not sexy, I'm not talking about just how you look. I'm talking about you don't have sex appeal, which is why the woman don't want to fuck with you, because you're boring. Listen, me and Miles was talking about this on the Bad Boy show the other day. Like, he was talking about how he saw a video of a woman who, she said, you know, I gave the nice guy a chance, right? Because she was fucking with all these bad boys and all these type of niggas. And then she actually listened to the. She said, you know, I gave the nice guy a chance, but she said while they were on the date, he was boring as. She said she had to like carry the entire conversation. So a lot of you good guys, nice guys, you're boring. You're fucking boring. And you don't know how to.
I'm gonna play it too much because it's a bit long.
Nah, yeah. He sounds like one of the feminists out there who say that I need a man to be entertaining, funny. I need him to make me laugh. A man isn't a dog for a woman to play around with, right? A man is a human being. You know what I'm saying? I think that telling men that they need to become these funny, entertaining things. Like I remember I had a follower tell me one time, he's like, you want me to become this thing that I don't even want to be? What if I don't want to be that? What if I enjoy being who I am? Will that negatively impact my ability to get a woman? Sure, but I love myself and I'm fine with who I am. A society doesn't seem to take into consideration what men think is going to be good for them. It tends to want men to become something for women, but it never tells women to become something for men. Why does a man need to be entertaining for a woman? He's not a dog. He's not a fucking TV show. He's a human being. Is he able to give you all the things that you need to survive? Yes. Then why don't you see him as a valuable partner? Why don't you see him as a good individual that you could be with for long term? Because you live in a society where you've got all these men that are entertaining and funny, and you think that this guy is supposedly supposed to be just like them. No, it's quite unfortunate. It's one of those situations where you got women saying, take me as I am, take me as I am. But then men have to transform themselves into some fucking super robot in order to fight off evil. It just doesn't make any sense to me if we're living in an equal society where, you know, a man is more than his money and a woman is more than just her body. You know, I don't think that these men are lames. I think that these men are most likely just being themselves, and unfortunately they're not valued for being themselves. Whereas a woman can literally be the most boring fucking person on the planet, but because she got ass and titties, somehow that makes her more valuable than the boring dude that's got a good job and is willing to actually be a good citizen. You know, if anything, he just showcased women's hoflation and their idea of, you know, just sleeping with the top 20%ers and not really giving a shit about the men that would actually be good for them, like we were talking about previously. You know, they think that they need to have an entertaining relationship. My father's been married for 41 years. And he tells me all the time, son, a marriage is not this fun little game. You're dealing with a person's feelings, emotions, wants, likes, and dislikes. It's not going to be a roller coaster where you're going up and screaming. A lot of the time it's boring. What are you going to do when shit gets boring? Shit can't be entertaining all the time. What's going to happen when you're in a situation where he becomes boring? The funny, goofy guy becomes boring. What you going to do? Just leave him? So we really need to ask ourselves, what are we really saying here? Oh, these men are boring. Okay, even the funniest man in the world is going to get boring. So now what? You know, what are we really saying right now? So it's unfortunate to hear that a man is saying this, because he's selling this idea that, you know, man has to become an entertainer in order to have a woman. And basically you're saying you need to be some kind of dog on a leash for a woman. It's wild.
Yeah, he this is the guy I was telling you about, where he says talk to 25 women a day. You know, his thing is like he got like he's not the only one that he has a group they call the no game theory, and you know their thing is to their thing is just like the truth is inside you. That's his motto, where that the man gotta be the leader and the woman just follow. You know. Yeah, but you can't. You have to take into consideration the change in the environment. That's the same thing a lot of these OGs will be telling me. Oh, if a man just do this and this and this, then the world will be better. But you got women out here that are gaming you, right? You could be a man with all this money and all this power, and a woman come along and she just using your ass for your house and your money and your food, and you're not getting nothing in return for that. But you think that you're doing something because you living in accordance to some 1950s law. That's stupid. Women have said that they want to live in some egalitarian society and have fought for a change in the social network. You can't just ignore that because you feel like it should be a certain way. This is another thing. Why are men trying to be
these leaders, women aren't trying to be submissive nurturers, but yet men are still being forced to hold themselves to this old, out of date idea where I'm supposed to be a leader. I can't even be an effective leader in this society. A woman is going to accuse me of something if I even try to be an effective leader. Oh,
well,
you're
these are people you need to like debate with, because I would want to see
no,
that shit.
that would definitely be interesting. But it's like, how can a man be an effective leader in a society where his authority is deemed to be toxic? Right? How can I be an effective leader with a woman that's not willing to listen to my leadership? You want a man to be this powerful thing, but the society I'm in doesn't even respect it. So why should a man even do that? It's a waste of energy. Most women are not going to listen. Why would you want a man to become this thing that in modern times doesn't work a lot of times, especially if he's the average man? Not every man can just go to the gym and become handsome. Not every man can just make $1 million and then become handsome. Some men are just stuck the way they are. Some men want to be an artist. They don't want to be a six-figure earner. They happy where they're at. What about that guy? You telling me he don't deserve love because he's not entertaining? That's fucking stupid. What is she, a child that needs a rattle? You know, it's quite annoying to hear this. These are men. These are not robots, toys for girls to play with and program. And when you tell people that there's a prerequisite of entry, most people are going to say, you know what, I'm not even going to pay the fee. I'd rather just be outside and do shit for free if I got to pay this big ass prerequisite.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's somebody here that agrees with you. Brown, baldy, black spider guy spitting facts. Yeah.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, I've been following this guy for like a year now, over a year. And, you know, there's things that, you know, I think that it kind of make me reflect on things, like in terms of like, what am I doing wrong? You know, like in terms of like trying to like socialize with women, because there's times, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm 49 years old. I said that before, but you know, I really don't always know what I'm doing, and so, you know, sometimes you have to. I mean, not sometimes. I mean, there's times that you have to kind of like look at other people's point of view, like maybe to see what you're doing.
You know, you're comparing and you're contrasting. You're trying to see where you can fix things. That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Because there'd be times I just don't understand women, man, and after a while, sometimes you kind of not like them at times, and I don't want to be like that.
It's frustrating. I think that, I mean, there's women out there that'll literally say to a man, I hate men, I don't like men. So I think it's fair for men to say that they get tired of women sometimes. I don't think there's nothing wrong with a man saying women get tired, because women out there saying I hate men every day on the internet. So I think it's fair for us to say what we need to say. But when you live in a society that says women can do whatever the fuck they want, but then a man is still expected to have the leadership role, it's a very paradoxical world to be in. Because how am I as a man supposed to lead something that can do whatever the fuck it wants to do? Please tell me how. If I'm leading the marriage and the marriage is going well, she can just say, you know what, I'm done, and fuck up, and everything could be sweet, good, golden. But because she chooses to say I'm done, even with me being a good leader, I'm still at fault. So what is the point of being a good leader if the follower is not held to some rule of law? So until they fix that, I don't see a point in just going ahead and being some traditional leader. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. For you, like, do you like talk to somebody, or you just kind of like into your own world?
I mean, there's a couple of girls I talk to, but you know, I'm always working and doing shit. I'm always busy all the time. But there are a couple of girls that I've talked to. A couple of girls I talked to last year. You know, I've had my situationships. You know, I had a relationship last year, but you know, I'm not really focused on any particular woman per se. Like, I have some people I'm talking to, something happens, cool, but I'm really focused on getting my net worth up. You know, I'm really focused on getting my money up. I'm really focused on traveling to a few more countries. You know, I'm young enough to where there's still some things I need to do before it's like, okay, where's my partner at? You know what I'm saying? Because I could find a partner at 40 years old, and that's years away from now. So, you know, until that time comes, I'm really just focused on helping as many people as possible.
Yeah. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
29, gonna be 30.
Oh, I think did I ask you that before? I'm not sure. Okay. All right. So let's check something out. me see.
Looking at him from the side, I feel like, I know you said you box, but I feel like my biceps are probably bigger than yours.
Oh, okay, so you think?
Yeah, I'll just you're getting someone bigger.
I thought we could have, work something out. Maybe.
Wow, sounds like this lady wants something that's big, heavy, and wide, full of power. Feel for my bro here, man. Ladies say all the time that we're superficial, but they want something big, long, and heavy. This is why I don't feel anything when I say I want girls with big, giant boobs. Girls can say they want a tall guy. I can say that, right? I think that's pretty fair. Can't change that. But I think you can, right? Break your bone surgery. I don't know, man. I feel bad for my bro here, though.
Now, for you, like somebody that worked out, do you feel that women are more attracted to you physically or
Hell
just mentally?
Yeah. I was 140 pounds a long time ago, man. Skinny ass nerd, big head, shy. Couldn't even lift up 100 pounds when I was in high school. I was made fun of all my life. And then when I started working out, taking care of my body, getting bigger, the amount of respect that I got. I work at a hospital, man. I work with women. I work with a lot of women, and the amount of women that'll grab on me, grab my arm, grab my body, wanna just hold on me, lean on me, squeeze me. It's the truth. Women are drawn to power. I don't care what anybody fucking says. Women are drawn to power. I've experienced it firsthand. I was literally that skinny, scrawny, weak kid in the corner. They don't want to fucking deal with that. As soon as I got physically stronger, all of a sudden, everybody want to fucking come near me. So 100% you as a man should be working out. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, I mean, I work out a bit, but not at your level. So I mean, when I was working out, like I would do like calisthenics run, and there were times like women would look at my physique and stuff, but it never really went far. Like
I mean, I don't know, man. For me, it's taking me leaps and bounds.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're confident? Like how do you tell people to the average dude?
Confidence. You could be a fit dude and have no confidence.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how I was for a little bit too, because I was a nerdy kid inside of my head, but with a really strong ass body. And I didn't know how to deal with all of the energy that was coming my way. So for a while, I was still that nerdy kid inside. It takes dealing with women, being put in situations, being rejected, dealing with other people who have negative intentions that'll really harden you up and really help you analyze what you got. I'll never say that you become confident magically just by getting muscle. It builds your ego up, makes your ego go up, but it doesn't really build up that natural confidence. That real confidence, not that fake confidence.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. There is an old saying: you can lead a horse to water, but can't make them drink. Anyone who wants to be lead has to be coachable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's 100%. A woman saying that she wants a man to lead, but it's like, okay, you want a man to lead, but are you able to be a follower? And they really hate that word. So they really hate that. They really don't like that. But it's the truth, though. How can I lead what doesn't want to follow? How can I teach what doesn't want to be a student? It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. I'll get back to you on that one, Spidey. I don't know. Yeah, I want to ask you a question. You ever thought about doing like an animation of yourself?
I've been working on that. I've been trying to find somebody. I've been trying to figure out how to do it myself. I do have like art and illustration, but I will eventually get to some form of animation. But it's just I'm trying to figure out how to really do that the right way.
Okay, yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, with the Spider-Man. I noticed that you do various characters. You do like this ape, and then you do like I like that one. That's funny. And like of course you did the Invincible. Then you did the Fantastic Four a bit. Yeah. You also did Venom and
Alpha Venom.
Yeah. So you liked it you liked it fantastic. Did you see Superman?
I didn't get to see Superman. I'm going to see that eventually, but I saw Fantastic Four, yeah.
Yeah, Fantastic Four was better than Superman. Superman, yes, to me, because we had a discussion about it, me and this gentleman. And
don't hold on, don't spoil it, because I gotta.
I ain't gonna tell you. I thought that Man of Steel was better, and the reason why for me, because I could relate to Man of Steel. I was like looking at Clark Kent as me, and then during the movie he was wavering whether to help humankind and stuff against General Zod. So that's what stuck with me, Yeah, so but this one, it was all over the place. I ain't going for the detail, but check it out. You check it out and see what I'm talking about. What did you like about Fantastic Four? Like, was there anything?
I just like the fact that it was more comic book accurate. There wasn't too much propaganda or anything. It was more of a comic book accurate movie. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I did thought it had a little bit of feminism, but it wasn't as strong as it was.
It wasn't as strong as it used to be. So they're getting there. They're getting there.
Yeah. They already showing the stunts for they were showing some of the stunts for Spider-Man.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah. He says it's mainly these westernized women that have that mindset. Notice that women from other countries don't act that way until they come here stateside.
Yeah, it's definitely the cultural influence. It's definitely the cultural influence.
Yeah. To piggyback on what was said earlier, a lot of these men nowadays are responsible for a lot of bullshit too. Yeah, I would agree.
Oh yeah. When you break down the status quo, both sides start to break down.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so I got another one.
First, we got to acknowledge that men are simply in a place of privilege. We created and continue to enforce a patriarchy that benefits only us.
The patriarchy only benefits men? That doesn't make any sense. How are women's rights enforced? How are women's rights enforced? If a woman gets hurt, who enforces the law so that she gets justice? It's men, right? Men, right? Women benefit by being able to appeal to a patriarchal system that then enforces the law, which then allows for her to have rights. What are you talking about?
Including myself. I'm not perfect. I have a lot of things that I'm continuing to learn. These systems negatively impact women the most.
What are women not allowed to do in America right now, law-wise, law-specific? You won't be able to name one. The patriarchal system is the enforcement mechanism. It's also the thing that creates chivalry. It's also the thing that tells men to be gentlemen. It's also the thing that says men should work while women stay at home. How does that negatively impact them? This is how I know this is just rhetoric.
If you disagree with that statement and hate women, my page is not going to be...
So if somebody disagrees with you, that means they hate women? That's wild. The patriarchy actually helps women because it enforces the laws that allows for their rights to even exist. It tells men to get up and let them sit in the chair. It tells men to be gentlemen. It tells men to be providers. The patriarchy is the old school system that was what created your grandma and grandpa's long-term marriage. It's a good system when done correctly. There are abusive people within any system, but the patriarchy isn't a bad thing. That's just feminist rhetoric.
I know we was talking about that earlier, but I just bought that.
I just hate when people use bingo words and then act as if these bingo words really mean something. Like, what is the patriarchy? Is it inherently evil? No. All it means is that men are in power, an old system of men having control. Women always appeal to a man to be able to have anything enforced, law-wise specific. Female rights cannot be enforced without male strength, the patriarchy, your father, your husband. These are things that you rely on. You're looking for a man to be a quote-unquote leader. That is literally a patriarchy. When a girl says, I need a man to be a leader, That's the patriarchy. But then they'll say things like, we don't need the patriarchy. The patriarchy is evil. Okay, so you don't want a man to lead. No, I do want a man to lead. So you want the patriarchy. No, we're partners. So you don't want a man to lead. See, it's this hypocritical nonsense. That's why it's feminist jargon. It just doesn't make any sense. It's rhetoric.
Yeah. If you was a teacher, like what would you have your students like look up, like, or do research? What kind of books would you want them to get on feminism?
I would tell them to learn about how Rome fell. Learn about how Rome fell, and read the 48 Maxims of Power, and read the book called Human Nature by the same author that made the book 48 Maxims of Power, because that's going to help you understand really what happened with Rome, and also how people utilize feminism to push certain agendas to get men to kind of bend and do shit for people. But definitely stuff how Rome fell.
Do you think the United States eventually will fall?
It won't fall. It'll just turn into something else. What it used to be is no longer what it is already anyway. This is not a democracy. This is an anocracy. This is a republic, actually. People don't even know what that is. So at the end of the day, America has already fallen. It's converting into something else right now. People think that nations don't fall, right? Like they did in the past, where it's like the flags are down, the city has crumbled. No, what happens is nothing changes for the people, but the leaders have changed, the rules have changed, what you can do has changed. That's how a country falls now. That's how a nation falls. Not with a bang, but a whimper.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know if I want to go too deep into that, but what was I about to say? I was about to say something, damn, it just slipped out of my mind. Yeah, it slipped out of my mind. I was going to talk about China, really, tell you the truth.
What about
I think China's taken over in certain ways, where they kind of they control like the media, and then they control like even like they control like the news and the media. If I'm making sense.
China is a communist country. It controls everything from the inside when it comes to their people. But as far as other countries, I mean, it does kind of push certain things in the algorithm, I guess. But it doesn't necessarily have as much control as we think it does. China also is dealing with a number of things that are going on in its country right now. They're dealing with a birth rate issue, for example. Their young people aren't producing enough children. Their money isn't as valuable as it can be. And they're very reliant upon the American consumer system to kind of exist. So they got a lot of problems too.
Well, like this guy I know, like he's more of an expert than I am, and he tells me that they were like Chinese spies infiltrating the U.S.
Oh yeah, that's happening all the time, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I know, like even in the past, they were like Russian spies that infiltrated the West also. And
they're here. They're definitely here.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying. Like like I think like China in a sense is taking. They're not. I don't know to say entirely, but they are taking over like media coverage of news. Like I know I ain't articulating it.
No, it's all right.
Well, yeah. So, but yeah, there was something else I wanted to say too. Forget it. I'm gonna just go to the next video.
It's all good.
Just a reminder that my 1,113 man, that sounds insane, video will be released on Fansly. It's going to take me a little bit of time to edit, 12 hours of footage to go through, so bear with me, but it will be up there soon.
Yeah, I know you know who that is. Her name is Lily Phillips. And
Yeah,
she slept with her.
she's another 304.
Yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, you know, I seen her fresh and fit, and you know, for some reason, I don't know, she caught my attention. You know, she's like 23 years old, and she slept with all these men, and it's kind of mind blowing. So, but it goes back to what we was talking about. You know,
Well,
so
when you live in a society that promotes the idea that a woman can do whatever she wants to do, including sleep with whoever she wants, you're going to create super 304s, which is what we have right now.
yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah. Well,
So-
you said it. Well, you said it best, because I don't know what to say.
It's the downfall of humanity, but it's okay though, because like anything, when it crumbles, it'll get rebuilt. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, yeah, I don't want to take you hostage, man, but I do appreciate you once again coming through, man. Yeah,
yeah, man, it was good. It was nice being here, man. I appreciate you
Yeah.
bringing me back on. Always good to talk to my peeps.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. Like, I know you have like a donation. You have a Cash App, and what else? You got a Venmo or something like that?
Everything is in my bio on my Instagram, and I also have a link for my Cash App on my YouTube. I do have a YouTube channel, so it's right up there at the top.
All right. Yeah, how's your YouTube channel? I forgive me, I haven't been watching your YouTube.
No, it's all
So-
good. It's everything is Black Spider Guy advice. So
Okay. All right. Is that the same? Is that these clips are in your
yeah,
your
some of the
YouTube
clips
channel?
are there, and there's other clips specific for YouTube there too. So there's other things.
All right. Yeah, man. Yeah, I appreciate you again, man. If anytime we could talk again, you know.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you. I'll dip
Yeah.
out. You have a good
All
night,
right.
man.
Peace, buddy.